Hey guys, welcome to Press Start to Play. I'm your host Ayush from Game of Fiend, and joining me today is Sushir Rahman, Manas Joy, Darren Rodriguez, and Naksh.
Special guest.
And this is part two of our comments video that we didn't get to complete last time. Hopefully, this time we are able to run through all of them and have some discussion-worthy stuff on this topic. With that being said, Manas, take it away.
All right, let's start. काफी comments है, lots of comments. इसलिए हम back to back comments के videos कर रहे हैं. While Sushir finishes Ragnarok and we can eventually talk spoilers. Kratos dies. Don't worry.
Eventually.
वो नहीं बचता है. Kratos dies in my heart. And undies. वो तो Thor वाली initial cutscene में ही dies.
There is a dance battle at the end.
Kratos does all the Fortnite moves. But anyways, let's start with some comments.
I think I may have played the wrong game.
चलो start करते हैं. सारू बॉस जिसने initially काफी पहले had a comment where he rebuked my opinions. Good comment actually, and I appreciated it.
Rebuke him more.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, he should. He has another comment. I think Saru Boss Sushir का दोस्त है. पहले सुशीर को हटाओ. So I think Saru Boss goes away by default. Anyways, Saru Boss कहता, I know it won't happen, but I wish there was an option to buy the single player campaign separately for $30 or $1,500. As I like the campaigns of COD, but not interested in multiplayer at all. And 5K is just too much for just the campaign. I like the idea that Saru Boss is pitching, and hopefully this is what we get eventually with Game Pass. Or what we eventually do end up getting, like every year we getting a new campaign or something, but the multiplayer is like more long run. क्योंकि मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है right now I have the entire game on PS5, but I only have the Warzone and DMZ on Steam, and DMZ फाड़ू है, but it's so much fun. DMZ is like a easy mode वाला Tarkov. You get in, you kill AI bosses, AI enemies, and you kill PvP भी है उसमें, and then you have to extract. It's great fun, but ऐसा लगता है like in between I have no interest in playing the वो जो battle royale खेलने में मुझे कोई interest नहीं है, Warzone खेलने में. तो बीच में as like a palate cleanser I would like to play the multiplayer, but उसके लिए PS on करो and उस पे खेलो while I'm playing on Steam DMZ. तो वो थोड़ा सा मतलब इसलिए I would also appreciate like these modes being split out in a way. Multiplayer, all of it is like one free package, and the campaign is a separate package, and campaign is fun like Modern Warfare 2 का. Not great. मैंने पूरा खत्म किया, and I don't think it's like as good as 2019 वाला campaign. It's good, but it has a lot of problems. Pacing वगैरह ऊपर नीचे है, but it's still good fun, but not worth 5,000 at all. Not worth 2,000 even. 1500 1000 रुपए 1500 में ठीक है. Play a fun 6 hour long campaign is good fun. What do you think of this idea though? Like ऐसे split out करके ना, like campaign अलग से मिल जाए.
1500 में तो कॉल ऑफ ड्यूटी 2 भी ना बेचे एक्टिविजन, तो
वही
सब तो दूर की बात है. पर या इट्स अ गुड आइडिया एक्चुअली.
मानस के कमेंट्स सुन के Xbox तो बहुत खुश हो रहा है कि हाँ बिल्कुल वर्थ नहीं हमारा गेम, इतना महंगा है ही, कुछ पैसा नहीं है इसमें.
But then you can easily just go at the PS5 के trophies में चले जाओ. Nobody's playing the campaign. You know कि like majority of them are there for the multiplayer के trophies भर के unlocked है. Like if you go to PSN profiles ना, you'll see कि multiplayer there are a lot of multiplayer trophies unlocked. Campaign के trophies बहुत ही कम लोगों ने unlock किए हैं, which is fine है. नहीं खेलना मत खेलो, but it is like yeah, it's not the main offering, but it is a good offering. मतलब that is the reason why it makes for a full package. जो Battlefield apparently deliver नहीं कर पाया ना. Like if there was a campaign, like a great campaign, which I don't feel like Battlefield has done a campaign as good as Call of Duty campaign in years.
I think
but yeah, go
one
on.
of the reasons that they released the campaign early, I think 1 week early campaign release करा ना, for people who pre-ordered or people who bought the Vault edition. I think that was the reason कि people who are pre-ordering are going to be die-hard COD fans, and वो लोग multiplayer बैठ के घिसने वाले हैं. तो तुम लोग पहले कैंपेन ले लो, कैंपेन खेलो थोड़ा बहुत, at least that way they'll play it, and then you play your Warzone for infinity and beyond till the next Warzone comes out. And that was the idea behind it, I think.
मुझे लगता है कि like if you talk about the cost of this, right? I think the most of the cost of that game is coming because of the development done on single player. Like because that is the part which is done from scratch every year, and it's a new thing that's coming out every year, and it looks so good. Like it's very polished, it looks very good. Like all the mechanics are there. Like the multiplayer modes are mostly copy paste, right? they just get a new coat of like or whatever the graphical bleeding edge of that year is, right? But single player, in my opinion, I would say is getting created every time. So the cost of that game is actually coming from the single player campaign, and you're getting the multiplayer for reasonably cheaper prices. So I think like Ulta, even if it does get split, I think it will be on the other side. The multiplayer might be cheaper, which is like 1,000, 1,200, where Activision wants you to get into it and start playing the game. Even like in the case of Warzone, there's a free for DMZ. I don't know how they want to monetize it, but I think the chunk of the cost is the multiplayer, is the single player, and not the multiplayer. So
Yeah.
उल्टा हो जाएगा. You might get your single player for 4,500 or 4,000. ऐसा इस तरह का situation होगा.
From my end, it's just a small observation, and this is not a comment on me or Sarubos. Okay, just make sure. I think the fascination behind wanting to play the single player campaign only is a very, I think, maybe a Southeast Asian thing, or like in some other places where piracy was rampant till a long time, where people could experience Call of Duty only in the single player format. वो मल्टीप्लेयर फॉर्मेट वाला जो इंटरेस्ट है वो कभी ये सब कंट्रीज में जहाँ पे पायरेसी बहुत ज्यादा था या वो गेम बहुत एक्सपेंसिव था लेने का जगह हुआ नहीं. सो आई थिंक दैट्स व्हाई वी आर ऑल एक्साइटेड, वी लाइक, बिकॉज वी हैव प्लेड द कैंपेन्स फॉर years and years and years and not got into the multiplayer for obvious reasons. And right now, when that's why, like when Manas is saying that wo completion rate and people who are playing the multiplayer and everything, jo fervor, jo excitement the multiplayer is getting in countries which are really excited about it and has been following the multiplayer for decades, they are really interested. But India में वो चीज अभी भी है, वो एक बड़ा component वो भी है कि मतलब people who are like नहीं मेरे को बस single player खेलना है. And even like, because even yesterday I got to hear from somebody like, oh, why are you spending money on single player games and stuff like that from a person. So I can understand the logic behind it, that wanting that to happen, but इतने सारे मोड्स है, इतने सारे सब कुछ है, it might be a good idea, but having to piecemeal files and everything, just like the problem that they had last time कि 100 GB 150 GB का था, and if you just wanted to play the game you could install it separately and stuff like that, and it got a little complicated and everything. That might become a big issue, the whole engineering part of it, like creating the mode component separate.
इतना पैसा तो कमा रहे हैं यार, थोड़ा इंजीनियर इंडिया में बैठे बहुत सारे इंजीनियर्स, उनको उठा लो.
That's what Twitter is doing, man.
Yeah. But Ayush made a good point ki if they single player might be taking a lot of the monetary cost of the development cycle of the game, right? Multiplayer mein they are probably prototyping for multiplayer and then implementing that in a single player campaign, and then having that cinematography, directing, story वगैरह वगैरह on that, right? Which is why I think ki the main money of the game comes from the MTX of Call of Duty, right? Multiplayer side से ज़्यादा पैसा आता है इनका, which is why I don't think it वो single player पे अलग packaging करेंगे. और अगर करेंगे ना तो then single player campaigns का quality गिरेगा, क्योंकि then there is no way to make that money back ना. अगर तुम बहुत पैसा sink कर रहे हो उसमें as a separate product, तो how do you make that money back? अभी तो multiplayer के साथ तो वो justify हो रहा है कि हाँ MTX में लोग पैसा खर्च कर रहे हैं, ये वो, बट अगर वो अलग हो गया पूरा तो फिर हाउ डू यू जस्टिफाई कि कम पैसे आ रहे हैं और हम ज्यादा पैसा डाल रहे हैं इसमें, लेकिन हमें वापस वो रेवेन्यू नहीं मिल रहा. एक्टिविजन जैसा कंपनी तो विल नॉट गिव आउट फ्री मनी ना वैसे.
I think that's a big question for also games like Red Dead Online and GTA Online, because recently they have been spun off to like different online modes जो तुम कम और थोड़े कम पैसे में खरीद सकते हो. If you just want the multiplayer, you buy it like separately and stuff like that, right? And even for Red Dead Online you can do that. So I think going forward this kind of a thing might become the norm, but yeah, regarding what Darren said, it might become more difficult to justify the cost regarding something.
Makes sense. Wait, before we like discuss this further, there's another comment along the same lines. Ashish Walia कहता है कि I've only heard bad things about the new game. He's talking about Modern Warfare 2, except for maybe a few people praising the gun models. Still not sure what to think of it, but I surely ain't buying this. And coincidentally, like when I was collecting these comments, I was also playing multiplayer on the PS5, and जब इसने बोला मैं गन की तरफ देखा, मैं कहा गन मॉडल ऐसा तो कुछ अलग है नहीं, मतलब I don't know what to. जैसे मतलब gun, yeah, looks like a regular Call of Duty gun, and जैसे if you look at Battlefield, those guns, I feel कि Battlefield में technically those guns like visually they look better. Tarkov has like way more depth in terms of gun mechanics, animations and everything. So I don't know like कि ना सिर्फ gun models को praise करने का वो I think कि this like overall like for 5,000 this is a great package, no doubt. Warzone and DMZ free है, that's a different thing. But जो multiplayer है, जो campaign है, it's like a great package. इंडिया में ऑफ कोर्स आई थिंक इट्स वर्थ $60 एंड जो भी इंडिया का $60 इक्वेलेंट होगा ना, लाइक आई मीन उसको सस्ता करके रीजनली प्राइस कर दो 2,000 रुपए में, टोटली वर्थ इट. तो आई थिंक इन दैट वेज इट्स टोटली लाइक मॉडर्न वॉरफेयर. तो मुझे लग रहा है इट्स लाइक अ हाई क्वालिटी. मतलब मैं बोला जब मैंने खेला मैं कहा फक ड्यूड, लाइक फॉर अ व्हाइल मेरे पास दोनों का एक्सेस था, कॉल ऑफ ड्यूटी एंड गॉड ऑफ वॉर, एंड आई प्लेड कॉल ऑफ ड्यूटी मोर फर्स्ट, क्योंकि मुझे लग रहा था लाइक जो मैंने अपने PS5 में पैसा खर्च किया, जो टीवी पे पैसा खर्च किया है, इसका मुझे वैल्यू फॉर मनी आई एम गेटिंग इमीडिएटली फ्रॉम कॉल ऑफ ड्यूटी, क्योंकि इट इज ड्रिपिंग ट्रिपल ए. मतलब ना पूरा मतलब ट्रिपल ए क्वाड्रुपल ए जो पूरा पैसा फेंक के जो प्रोडक्ट बनाया, इट्स ड्रिपिंग विद दैट. गॉड ऑफ वॉर में आई वाज, कॉल ऑफ ड्यूटी हैज इश्यूज बट गॉड ऑफ वॉर के इश्यूज आर मोर ग्लेयरिंग देन कॉल ऑफ ड्यूटी के इश्यूज. इवन द कॉल ऑफ ड्यूटी आई फील कि लाइक मे बी लाइक रिव्यू पर्सपेक्टिव से हैज लाइक मोर थिंग्स टू नेटपिक, बट ड्यूड लाइक जो विजुअल प्रोडक्शन, जो कटसीन का क्वालिटी है, जो ग्राफिक्स का क्वालिटी है, एंड व्हाट दे आर डूइंग इन टर्म्स ऑफ ओवरऑल like a spectacle, नहीं full on like sense नहीं बना रहा है, but it's a spectacle. Like that is, it's like insane amounts of money thrown at it. It's like a Marvel movie. Not everybody likes it. Not every Marvel movie is great, but it's like insane पैसा फेंक दिया उस पे. तो वो तो है. And Ayush, like you played, I feel कि ना you, जैसे सुशीर, Darren, you haven't finished the campaign ना Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 का. Like Ayush, you finished the campaign and you played some of the multiplayer also. So like जो Ayush, आशीष वालिया जो कह रहा है कि ना like hey, like have only heard bad things about the new game. Like, what do you think overall? Like, single player को भी मिला के, campaign, multiplayer को भी मिला के, like, what do you think this whole game kind of is? Like, end product कैसा है?
So, if you are a Call of Duty fan, ठीक है, तो I think the problem with the Call of Duty product is कि it is very similar to the Call of Duty that came before it, ठीक है. So when it is very similar now, even if it is very polished without bugs and not new problems, you will feel the lethargy or the tiredness of it. Like this, I played this already, you know, I played this, I've been playing this for the last 4 years. इस तरह की similarity है. तो I think that is why you don't hear like good things about it, कि जैसे like एकदम नया हो गया ना कुछ, like एकदम नया आ गया, like जैसे वो even Captain Price, correct, exactly, like it changes. And 2019 was before 28. In 2018 they had this like no campaign वाला ना Black Ops, so it was a big deal for Modern Warfare to come back with a campaign, and that also like one of the most famous campaigns of all time from the world. तो अब that is getting a little old मेरे ख्याल से, जो अभी पर्सपेक्टिव है कि now people are like Captain Price भी है इसमें, Soap भी है इसमें, but like we know all these people and what are they doing? They're sitting in a field and sniping people. We know, we've done this before. It's still great. It's still very polished. Multiplayer में जा रहे हैं हम लोग, डेथ मैच खेल रहे हैं, ये मैं जानता हूँ. Like I know this map, I know Nuketown, I know how to play in death matches. I know what to do in Warzone 2 as well, क्योंकि मतलब Warzone is very similar. DMZ is nice, but again, like now people know enough to recognize that it's like a Tarkov rip-off, right? मतलब उस केस में जैसे भी उन्होंने लिया है. तो the complete package is a good value of money. मेरे हिसाब से, in my opinion, if you buy that game and you're a first-person shooter fan, this game can keep you up till next year, till the next one arrives. You don't have to buy anything else in the middle. You play the multiplayer, you play DMZ, you play Warzone 2, and you play the single-player campaign, and you grind enough, like a normal grind, like वो 30, 60 hours की जो होती है, and this will take you further than any other game that you have. So value for package total, if you play everything, all of that, among that, I think is good. But like again, it's like a little old when you think about it. When उस तरीके से, I think it's not innovative enough gameplay wise. अगर आपको that's the I think that's the reason you're hearing a lot of bad things or looking at bad things about this game.
But आयुष जैसे मतलब जैसे आशीष कह रहा है, like fair point आशीष का, मैं उसको काउंटर करते हुए नहीं कर रहा हूँ, but जैसे Call of Duty with a lot of games you hear ना कि hey like Borderlands was so great पहले, and like Borderlands 3 and then the new Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, like they're changing the formula, like मजा नहीं आ रहा ये वो. I think the success of Call of Duty is कि they did not change the formula too much. तुम्हें 2004 में you loved Call of Duty Modern Warfare, 2004 नहीं 2007 में, and that is the same, like a similar thing with better polish, better gameplay mechanics. तुम्हें अभी मिल रहा है, तो लाइक मुझे ये नहीं समझ आ रहा लाइक व्हाट डू यू वांट, क्योंकि कॉल ऑफ ड्यूटी इज स्टिल लाइक वन ऑफ द बेस्ट शूटर्स राइट नाउ. बहुत लोग कहेंगे अच्छा फर्स्ट पर्सन शूटर नहीं, ये नहीं है वो नहीं है, लाइक इट्स नॉट डूम ड्यूट. लाइक डूम हैज डिफरेंट फीचर्स, डूम डजंट हैव द सेम. डूम में वो फीचर्स नहीं है जो कॉल ऑफ ड्यूटी में है, कॉल ऑफ ड्यूटी में वो फीचर्स नहीं है जो डूम में है, एंड डूम इज अ डिफरेंट गेम, कॉल ऑफ ड्यूटी इज अ डिफरेंट गेम. लाइक आई डोंट, कभी कभी मुझे समझ नहीं आता कि लाइक व्हाट डू पीपल वांट टू चेंज, क्योंकि जो चेंज है लास्ट जो 2 साल में, इफ यू लुक एट वैनगार्ड एंड जो वर्ल्ड वॉर है, इवन द न्यू ब्लैक ऑप्स वाज फन, वैनगार्ड एंड वर्ल्ड वॉर वाज नॉट फन एट ऑल, जो रिसेंटली आया था. तो मतलब उस वे में देखो तो एटलीस्ट मॉडर्न वॉरफेयर डिड नॉट चेंज टू मच, एंड डू पीपल नॉट वांट दैट, लाइक क्या चेंज चाहिए, लाइक दे एडेड द थर्ड पर्सन मोड आल्सो, जो कि मुझे लग रहा है उसकी भी जरूरत नहीं थी, टू बी ऑनेस्ट उतना भी चेंज करने की जरूरत नहीं थी. लाइक दिस इज स्टिल गुड इनफ एंड पीपल हैव गुड थिंग्स टू से अबाउट थर्ड पर्सन मोड. तो what should they change, मतलब क्या करे वो, I mean because Tarkov exists, I mean they're making a Tarkov वाला thing with Call of Duty mechanics and that's good, right? Like because अगर तुम्हें Tarkov खेलना है तो Tarkov भी तो available है ना, like would you not just play that, नहीं तो कुछ अलग ही चाहिए.
और थोड़ी ग्राइंडिंग जरूरी है, लाइक जैसे मैं डेस्टिनी, लाइक आई एम वेरी यूज्ड टू डेस्टिनी का वाला ना, तो उसमें वेपन्स वगैरह आपको चाहिए होते थे, यू हैव टू ग्राइंड, एंड फॉर गुड वेपन्स यू हैव टू ग्राइंड अ लॉट, मतलब ऐसा लेके इट्स नॉट नॉर्मल ग्राइंडिंग. तो जो डीएमजी में जो ग्राइंडिंग करनी पड़ती है आपको फॉर गेटर वेपन्स, दैट्स सपोज्ड टू बी डिफिकल्ट, इट्स नॉट सपोज्ड टू बी कि आप आओ अब 10 घंटे में यू गेट द बेस्ट वेपन इन द गेम. नो, यू हैव टू स्पेंड 50-100 आवर्स इन द गेम टू गेट टू दैट वेपन, है ना. You have to get 100 kills by through a grenade launcher, which is like the worst weapon to use in a PvP to get to that gun that you want, right? So, मतलब मतलब if you playing, this is a different kind of multiplayer, right? जैसे वो आपके Call of Duty के death match वगैरह से, it's a different kind where you are upgrading yourself even though you're losing consistently. तो DMZ का grind is अलग है, आप you have to get something done like to get to that weapon. तो वो चेंजेस में भी लोगों को पसंद नहीं आ रहे हैं टू द कोर क्राउड, बिकॉज इट्स वेरी डिफरेंट फ्रॉम हाउ दे प्लेड कॉल ऑफ ड्यूटी फॉर अ लॉन्ग टाइम ऐसा. और जो टार्कोव खेल रहे हैं वो टार्कोव खेल ही रहे हैं, दे हैव नो रीजन टू कम टू कॉल ऑफ ड्यूटी टू प्ले टार्कोव ऐसा.
बट इवन देन जैसे लाइक you're right कि ना ग्राइंड है, लेकिन DMZ हैज दैट फीचर कि you kill a few guys, get a few weapons and extract and get out, and then you have that weapon. एंड मैं तो मतलब मोस्टली DMZ में यही करता हूँ कि जस्ट गो विद नथिंग, सिर्फ फिस्ट है, एंड मुझे दिख रहा है कि इसमें अकेला नहीं हूँ, 3 टीममेट्स है, मेरे साथ एक और बंदा है जो सिर्फ हाथ लेके ही खड़ा है, एंड वी आर ऑल डिपेंडिंग ऑन लाइक द वन गाय जो वेपन लेके आया है, वो एक बंदे को मारे, किल्स 1 AI एनिमी, एंड देन वी बोथ रन उसको लूट करके कुछ मिल जाए, एंड दैट इज हाउ वी प्लेइंग इट. लाइक एक तो मुझे लग रहा है जैसे आई हैड आस्क्ड दिस क्वेश्चन ऑफ डैरन आल्सो, लाइक द बैटल पास एंड the cosmetic, like who gives a shit man, like तुम्हें मजा आ रहा है क्या गेम खेलने में, like if you're not having fun with the core game then why do you give a shit about the cosmetics, कि तुम्हारे वेपन का स्किन का कलर क्या. लाइक मैं देखा, मैं मल्टीप्लेयर एक मैप नॉर्मल वर्सेस वाला मल्टीप्लेयर हार्डलाइन या कुछ लॉन्च किया, द गाय बिसाइड मी हैड अ गोल्डन गन, आई डिड नॉट गिव अ शिट कि उसका गन गोल्डन है, मेरा गन ब्लैक है, साला गोली तो सेम डैमेज करने वाला है ना बंदे को, तो हु केयर्स, मतलब तुम्हें मजा, आर यू लाइक द होल थिंग विद द बैटल पास, एंड आल्सो I feel कि battle pass and this cosmetics वाला model has hooked like the I don't know who like कैसे लोगों को hook किया है to have, like I agree complaining about these it's totally fair, but saying कि it takes away from the fun of the game, I don't get that at all, and I'm very happy कि I don't get that क्योंकि I still am able to enjoy these games. Like I was like Call of Duty 4 तो like 4-5 like college में तो भर के खेला dude. And I never cared कि मेरा progression क्या हो रहा है, am I unlocking not unlocking, like am I having fun shooting the basic as MP5, तो मजा आ रहा है नहीं आ रहा है, that was the criteria, नहीं आ रहा तो I'll move on to the next game. That's why we played Call of Duty 4 and उसके next साल जब World at War आया था we played almost none of it, even though that was not a bad game, है ना, क्योंकि Call of Duty 4 के weapons में उस mechanics में ज्यादा मजा आ रहा था, setting में ज्यादा मजा आ रहा था. It's a little weird.
अब Call of Duty is catering to literally everybody. You want multiplayer team deathmatch मिलेगा, you want battle royale मिलेगा, you want
मतलब कुछ भी फर्स्ट पर्सन मोड सोच सक रहे हो तो वो मिलेगा.
हाँ, फर्स्ट पर्सन सोच रहे हो, अब थर्ड पर्सन भी तुम सोच रहे हो वो भी मिल रहा है, तुम्हें थर्ड पर्सन खेलना है वो भी मिलेगा, तो दे आर लाइक कि तुम्हें सिंगल प्लेयर कैंपेन चाहिए ये लो, तो अभी दे आर लाइक कि any first person shooter fan that is there, they can play any part of Modern Warfare 2 and they will get a good experience that they are sort of looking for, besides like the hero shooter part, because they don't have a class based that yet. कोई class based वो नहीं है, जैसे like Battlefield has specialists वगैरह, they don't have any class based or hero based. That is the only place which Call of Duty is not offering अभी, बट उसके अलावा फर्स्ट पर्सन शूटर जॉनरा में तुम जितने भी पॉपुलर गेम्स देख लो ना मल्टीप्लेयर, कॉल ऑफ ड्यूटी उन सबको अपने उसमें लेके आ चुका है, एंड एवरीबडी कैन गेट व्हाट दे वांट. दैट मींस दैट एक्टिविजन कैन मेक लॉट्स ऑफ मनी, and I think they are very happy with it.
So, but I think that's a good question to ask, Manas. Whether just to end this discussion, like जैसे लोगों ने लिखा है ना, आशीष ने भी लिखा है कि like he's hearing bad things about it. So, what should like Call of Duty Activision do to make it like even better next year? Man, like that's a good question to
Stay
ask.
with
People.
Sony.
Like, हाँ, मतलब apart from that, है ना, game में क्या कर सकते हैं? That's a good question to ask, and I think if you have any idea, let us know in the comments.
I think this is I think people who are complaining or like bringing up the point कि hey Call of Duty seem to stagnate again, या फिर it's not, I'm not hearing good things. It's like okay, like how do they change it, right? what do you want for it to improve? So I want to hear that as well, because even I don't know like what can they improve. Destruction of the environments like Battlefield. That's all I can think of right now.
But then they will say like it's taken from Battlefield. It's not innovative. Like copying is not the same as innovating, ना?
लेकिन कुछ तो कर देंगे कि तुम बिल्डिंग के नीचे गिर के तो तुम निकल सकते हो, तो कुछ तो करेंगे वो लोग. बैटल एक्टिविशन वाले बहुत पैसा है और बहुत टाइम भी है उनके पास, स्टूडियोज ही बहुत है, तुम कर लेंगे.
नहीं, फेयर क्वेश्चन. इवन आई एम क्यूरियस, क्योंकि मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है आई एम नॉट स्मार्ट इनफ टू, जब व्हेन समथिंग कम्स अलोंग टू टॉपल कॉल ऑफ ड्यूटी, मैं उसके भी प्रेसेस गा दूंगा. बट फॉर नाउ वी हैवंट सीन इट, तो लेट्स सी. लाइक है ना, फोर्टनाइट इज डूइंग इट्स थिंग, इट्स मैसिव. हेलो तो राइट ऑन पॉइंट, राइट ऑन सेगवे करते हैं हम. ईशान, वी हैव 2 कमेंट्स फ्रॉम ईशान. एक हमें आंसर करने की जरूरत नहीं है. इट्स पहला कमेंट है सीधा आशीष वालिया को ही बोल रहा है वो. ईशान में से लड़ाई करानी है. ईशान कहता आशीष वालिया नीड्स टू अंडरस्टैंड दैट माइक्रोसॉफ्ट डजंट नीड टू शट ऑफ हेलो बट 343. ये हमें बोल. आई डोंट वांट टू डिस्कस बैड गेम्स. कॉल ऑफ ड्यूटी डिस्कस करने के लिए मैं रेडी हूं, हेलो डिस्कस करने का टाइम नहीं.
यार हेलो का मल्टीप्लेयर इज ओके, हेलो का मल्टीप्लेयर गेम प्ले इज वेरी गुड.
गेम प्ले इज गुड, सबलाइम.
गेम प्ले इज गुड, वेरी फन टू प्ले. उसके अलावा
ट्रिपल ए होता है, फिर डबल ए होता है, फिर ए होता है. इट्स आ गेम.
हेलो इज अ गेम ऑफ दिस,
इज अ गेम
ऑफ लास्ट ईयर.
तो यहाँ पे हमें मतलब दिमाग खर्चने की जरूरत नहीं है. दिस ईशान एंड आशीष वाले विल सॉर्ट इट आउट. I hope Ashish वाले you respond to Ishaan on this.
हम पॉपकॉर्न लेके देखेंगे.
But we have, if you have the mental bandwidth, तो ईशान का अगला कमेंट लेते हैं हम.
शुरू हो जाए.
ठीक है. Can we discuss the Last of Us 2 ending? How it is so bad. Like Ellie kills literally everybody but doesn't go for revenge from Abby, who literally cuts 2 of her fingers off on the river fight. The fight itself is not great. And is it me or Naughty Dog endings are really bad? Uncharted, you always leave the treasure because stealing is a sin. I don't think they leave the treasure because stealing is a sin. वो कुछ तो मतलब हो जाता है कि ना, Nathan Drake gets out, पता उसे treasure तो पीछे छूट गया.
And nobody will believe his story.
Exactly. नहीं. But anyways, stealing is a sin, but killing is in Last of Us 2 ending was great, but Last of Us 1 ending was great, but तो मतलब वहाँ Naughty Dog did have a good ending, Ishaan, to your own counterpoint. But Last of Us 2 and now imagine Last of Us 3. Imagine Kratos at the end of God of War 3 spares Jesus. I think he meant to wrote Zeus. I'm gonna spare you and go home and watch Netflix and play guitar. Ellie should have killed her at least. Would make the game little messy. I don't know what. Less messy, little less messy. I don't know what I could expect Last of Us 3 to be. Why don't they just make a new Uncharted? Everybody will be happy. अरे सबसे पहले I want to say ईशान तो कह रहा है Uncharted का सही नहीं है, एक और Uncharted भी चाहिए. हाँ, एक और Uncharted भी चाहिए. Then तो Naughty Dog के ending सही नहीं है, but Last of Us का ending was great. तो मतलब I don't.
एक तो मैं I can answer one part of the question कि अगला Uncharted बनेगा ना, तो उसमें सैल की जगह Nathan Drake होगा और Nathan Drake की जगह उसकी बेटी होगी. ठीक है, ये तो तुम मान के चलो. I think that's like a fair expectation to have.
Bad ending.
वो नहीं.
Chloe और वो
According to Ishaan.
Uncharted को Nathan Drake को अभी मार देगी. ठीक है. Then but like I Last of Us 2 मुझे ऐसा लगता है if Ellie had ended up killing Abby, that I would have been okay with that. Like they have a story to tell and they told it. मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि they told a story that was not uh, digestible for everybody.
Right.
I was not there कि मुझे जोल को देखना है या एबी को देखना है या एली को देखना है. I wanted to see a story and I feel कि they delivered a stellar story. Like मुझे अभी भी लगता है like if I can go back to some of my reviews ना, I will reduce the score on some games. Halo को मैं 5 दे दूंगा, Assassin's Creed को 7 या 8 दे दूंगा, Tsushima को 6 दे दूंगा.
Live service reviews.
लेकिन लास्ट ऑफ अस को आई विल कीप इट एट a 10 out of 10 because
ये Ghost of Tsushima को इतना कम क्यों देता है? तो
नहीं, मतलब ऐसे करो,
that's a great
He
game.
hates it.
good, it's a really good game. मुझे लगा गेम प्ले वाइज इट्स ऑसम, विजुअली इट्स वेरी गुड, इट हैज प्रॉब्लम्स इन टर्म्स ऑफ ड्रॉ डिस्टेंस, गेम प्ले बहुत बढ़िया, स्टोरी तो मतलब भूल ही जाओ, नोबडी केयर्स. लोग पीपल प्रिटेंड टू केयर कि उसका स्टोरी बहुत अच्छा, उसका स्टोरी कुछ भी नहीं है, इट्स लाइक अ नथिंग स्टोरी. तुमने
तो वो जो बोस लेके आते हैं वो लोग इकट्ठा करते हैं हम लोग इतने सारे डीमंस पे, 80 डीमन वगैरह से.
कौन है वो?
दैट डजंट इंटरेस्ट मी.
Manas is writing edit.
But
I used to like the
what's
game.
about like Japan
-2.
mythology.
नहीं, बट जैसे आयुष, जैसे सुशिमा का चल वी कैन चल अग्री टू डिसएग्री एंड ऑल, बट लास्ट ऑफ अस का आई फील कि आई स्टिल फील इट्स लाइक अ 10 आउट ऑफ 10. लाइक नो अदर स्टूडियो हैज लाइक टोल्ड उतने कॉन्फिडेंस से अ स्टोरी लाइक दैट, है ना, डिस्पाइट लाइक व्हाटएवर लाइक फैंस को दे टोल्ड अ स्टोरी दैट दे वांटेड, हैड समथिंग इन माइंड ना. इट्स नॉट अ फोकस टेस्टेड स्टोरी. द सेम विद जैसे रेड डेड में है ना, लाइक रेड डेड हैज मैकेनिक्स दैट पीपल डोंट लाइक एट ऑल, बट रॉकस्टार वाज लाइक यार हम लोगों के लिए नहीं बना रहे, लाइक वी हैव अ स्टोरी टू टेल, वी हैव मैकेनिक्स दैट वी वांट टू डिस्प्ले, हमें ऐसा बनाना है, वी वांट पीपल टू प्रॉड थ्रू दैट गेम. तुम कुछ नहीं कर रहे, घोड़ा चला रहे हो फॉर लाइक 20 मिनट्स, तुम उसको सिनेमैटिक मोड में डाल दो, कोई फर्क नहीं, लाइक है ना, लाइक पीपल टॉलरेट दैट आल्सो. इट्स नॉट कि तुम्हें बड़ा मजा आ रहा है नहीं लाइक सिनेमैटिक मोड में घोड़ा चलाने में, लाइक क्या कुछ नहीं कर रहे हो, बैठे हो देखे हो, like है ना, like it's not like a awesome, it's not like a memorable experience नहीं, like तुम्हें Ayush, you tell me, like do you remember like a single second of like cinematic mode में बैठा है, like you're looking at something else, Twitter or something, वो घोड़ा चला के जा रहा है, like nobody remembers, but we all say it's a great game. I think Last of Us 2 also did that. It has problems maybe story में plot holes हो and all that, लेकिन I personally while playing it I thought it's like an excellent experience, and I feel कि by not killing Abby, like it created more conflict, जो which was the theme of that game, कि it's like a conflicted game. Ellie को नहीं पता है क्या करे, नहीं, like she's lost, of course she's killing hundreds of people, but यार अगर वो भी नहीं होता ना, तो do you want a walking simulator? I would have accepted it. तुझे ठीक नहीं लगता ईशान, तू चुप रहे. I would have been okay with a walking simulator where she does not kill like a lot of people, would have gone through like a desolate apocalypse and then also not killed
But also
Abby.
to that, with Abby, Ellie has a personal connection. There is some sort of semblance of some thought there ki this person changed my life in one way or the other, and now I have the decision that I can do something about it, right?
Yeah.
Whereas the henchmen, वो तो बस ऐसे ही खड़े हैं. You can kill them if you want, and you can choose not to kill them if you want in gameplay. Cutscene में अलग बात है कि it's a survival thing.
Like
नहीं, पर जैसे स्टार वॉर्स में जब वो बोलता है डार्थ वेडर कि आई एम योर फादर, व्हाई डज लाइक ल्यूक और डार्थ वेडर एट द एंड ऑफ द डे लाइक stumble or like have self doubt before killing that person after making that complete journey? इतने सारे उसमें तो planets हैं, इसमें तो एक ही planet पे थे, शहर के अलग अलग. स्टार वॉर्स में भी जब सेल्फ डाउट आ सकता है बंदे को आखिरी में इतने सारे लोगों को मार के, after the Death Star has already destroyed
and he's
planet.
still the best, one of the most favorite, fan favorite villains.
So then why not in this scenario where we're actually human?
वो जो रिवेंज का पूरा रिडेम मतलब आर्क है एंड वो जर्नी है, आई थिंक इट वुड नॉट हैव कंप्लीटेड इट्स आर्क quite well if that thing had not occurred, and that like shared loss or pathos that the both of them had regarding whatever had happened to them was not always according to their choosing. Like the world was an active component into deciding what was happening to them instead of them deciding what they wanted to be in that world. So I think in that manner, like Ellie and Abby, like I felt it was like a very heartfelt ending.
ईशान देख ऐसा है ना, अगर तो इफ यू वांट टू अंडरस्टैंड द एंडिंग ऑफ द लास्ट ऑफ अस 2, सो आज से 2 साल पहले हम लोग एक पॉडकास्ट करी थी जिसमें हम लोग, मैं, मानस, जय, सब काफी लोग थे. इट वाज अ फुल स्पॉइलर. आई थिंक जसमीत भी था उसमें.
जसमीत
एंड वी डिस्कस्ड, सो सब लोग थे एंड वी डिस्कस्ड दिस एंडिंग एंड व्हाई इट इज सो पावरफुल एंड लाइक इट इज लाइक 1.5 hour पॉडकास्ट. सो देख क्या भाई, उसको देख क्या कुछ हमको व्यूज भी मिलेंगे इस बहाने, and come back and then you talk to us as to why, because your feeling, the feeling is ki like I've met people who have talked to it, like why did Ellie need to go in that like क्यों था वो last section? If she could have just let it go, right? है ना? She could have just let it go, but the only time she could let go is like when she had that option, when she
Right.
could actually kill her or not kill her, when she was actually proposed with that option. तब उसने क्या किया? Then that's the only time she could let it go. मेरे ख्याल से, है ना? That's how the story is told. She loses so much stuff. Like when she comes back to an empty home, right? And that's the price you pay for being vengeful. ऐसा तो
I
मतलब
think
that is
also like again the revenge arc, right? You come back, you lose everything and you come back. I think part of it is कि now both these characters are alive and have to live with the decisions that they've made, which
Absolutely,
I
yeah.
think is again storytelling wise it is interesting because how do these characters up, what do they do with their life? And revenge, they've tried to let go of it. They have to live with the fact that they killed people that completely changed someone else's life, or they let someone live, right? Now what about the PTA? Like Last of Us is a very, very human, realistic thing. What about the PTSD that comes after it, right? There are things they might explore this in the future. Key, they might regret. Ellie might regret not doing that. What about
I
that?
think she
Abby
already
might
has
have.
some regret.
And
Abby
even
मतलब
might,
like
be try to, maybe have some sort of regret about what she's done and try to look for penance in what she's done. Like that is how you keep the story interesting and human.
and like think of it in the sense like in the total video game like history. I think this is easily falls into like the top 5 like kind of video game stories ever told. Like there has never been a story told so confidently by any other developer. So that's what the feeling came out of it. Like at the end of it, like the ease with which Naughty Dog went ahead and told whatever they wanted to do. So that's what like it was enraptured me.
Just
So
to
anyway, Ishaan, I just want to say like I think the fact that you have a very strong opinion if you like the story or not, I think speaks very strongly about how the game was made. I think that's the point of that game, that you have a strong opinion
yeah,
whether you like it or you don't like it. ऐसा.
And
I
and
think
Ayush,
to
and Ayush, you tell me, have you ever had a similar discussion like this about Tsushima and its story?
नहीं,
और
I'm
Valhalla.
not saying
नहीं, I'm
I'm
not
not
your
saying
team.
Tsushima is better than The Last of Us. मतलब at least in storytelling. मतलब मैं नहीं मानता. Like I think मुझे yes, The Last of Us में ना इतने अच्छे sequences हैं. एक there is a sequence when you're underground. There's a red light going around. That is like made better than most movies that I've seen. मतलब ऐसा उनसे ज्यादा अच्छा है उसका cinematography, उसका screenplay, right? Of just like adding pauses of having conversation. So, but like that's a cinema level, Hollywood level work that's
Right.
done there. And Tsushima is open world, right? Like there is so much stuff to do there, and like थोड़ा सा मुझको ये भी लगता है कि इस तरह के games में ना I get attached to the mythology of that game because वो mythology से I am so connected. I was talking to Darren and I think I like went a little off rails with the complete
Oh
mythology
man, I
class.
can't wait for people to hear that.
है ना? तो we'll talk about it whenever we do like our but like I get into this myth stuff. तो मुझे बहुत अच्छा लगता है like all these kinds of translations. तो जैसे वो बोस के अराउंड और जो रेवेंस के अराउंड गोस्ट ऑफ शिशिमा में डीमंस वगैरह के थे वो एक्सप्लेनेशंस थे. I like doing that. Though I found myself doing side quest stuff for the first time in a video game. Normally I don't normally do that at all. But we're not here to talk about Tsushima versus The Last of Us. And अगर मुझे if pushed to the corner, I think The Last of Us Part 2 is a better game overall, like story wise, cinematography wise. But six तो नहीं है Tsushima. That's what I think. I think it's
नहीं
not.
नहीं
मानस के लिए 6 है.
नहीं हमसे हाँ वो नंबर तो क्या फर्क पड़ता है तो बट मतलब वैसे कह रहे हो जैसे जस्ट टू ऐड लाइक अ कपल मोर पॉइंट्स टू दिस ना जैसे लास्ट ऑफ अस के लीक्स वगैरह के थ्रू यू हैड ऑल दिस इडियोटिक वीडियोस ना कि
Yeah.
अभी ट्रांस है ये है वो है नन ऑफ दैट वाज ट्रू उनमें से एक भी वीडियोस डिड नॉट मेक अ करेक्शन क्योंकि नन ऑफ दोस गाइस कॉटरिंग एंड ऑल दीस गेम्स एंड गेमर्स एंड ऑल दिस दे वर नॉट देयर उनको गेम खेलना भी नहीं था उनको फर्क भी नहीं उनको एक ही चीज से मतलब है ऑडियंस क्या सुनना चाहता है उनका ऑडियंस है जो चूतिया लोग हैं उनको क्या सुनना तो उनके लिए उन्होंने वीडियो बना दिया बट जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल इफ यू जो प्रॉब्लम्स लास्ट ऑफ अस में कॉटरिंग वगैरह बोलेंगे इफ दे वुड एंड अप प्लेइंग गॉड ऑफ वॉर एंड इफ दे एंड अप सीइंग कि ओडिन का कैरेक्टर कैसे द वे ही टॉक्स इट्स एग्जैक्टली लाइक व्हाट अ यंग राइटर वुड राइट है ना लाइक अ मॉडर्न यंग हिप राइटर वुड राइट एंड मैंने चेक भी किया जाके गॉड ऑफ वॉर के क्रेडिट्स में मैंने फिर उनके जो राइटर्स है उनका ट्विटर चेक किया दे आर ऑल यंग राइटर्स LGBTQ+, जो टेक्निकली यू वुड कैटेगराइज अंडर वोक do you see a single article वो कि ये सब कुछ करते हुए? कुछ नहीं है ना, आर्टिकल नहीं है ओडिन के कैरेक्टर को लेके ना, वो कैरेक्टर्स मेड अ ग्रेट कैरेक्टर, वैसे तो कोई आर्टिकल नहीं आ रहा है या कोई वीडियो नहीं आ रहा है. इट इज बिकॉज जो इनपुट, मतलब मुझे लग रहा है लॉट ऑफ द इनपुट दैट अ लॉट ऑफ फोक्स गॉट अबाउट द लास्ट ऑफ अस ना, वो ये ओडिन वगैरह वाले उसमें ना ध्यान ही नहीं गया वहां पे, बिकॉज इट वाज अ मेल कैरेक्टर. चलो मेल भी नहीं तो भी ना, इट वाज जस्ट वो गॉड ऑफ वॉर के पैकेजिंग में यू वुड नॉट एक्सपेक्ट दैट, तो एक्सपेक्ट नहीं किया तो देखा भी
आई
नहीं.
थिंक वो जो कंट्रोवर्सी ना तब होती, यू वुड हैव सीन दैट मोर कंट्रोवर्सी इफ क्रेटोस, मतलब again let's not, we'll
Spoilers.
not discuss it here.
Spoiler talk.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's not go there. Let's
Yeah.
not go there.
We
Let's not go
won't
there.
spoil it.
Yeah,
We can
fair
discuss
enough.
it next time.
But I'm saying just na, like it is
But I
true
think
though.
I think you know what I mean when I say
Yeah.
I think you know
Yeah,
what I mean.
yeah, I know what you were trying to say
Yeah.
na, but hey, Joel is dead. Some other characters are still out there
Alive.
doing their thing. So, but मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है, yeah, that's what I feel. A lot of that narrative was already built before the game got out, and a lot of people did not play these games. कि ना, like you have to play something like The Last of Us to feel कि ना जो अगर Last of Us 2 में Ellie had played like Joel, मैं interested भी नहीं होता. I would not, मैं शायद उस गेम के बारे में डिस्कस भी नहीं करता, because it would have been boring to play that game again. Joel first game again with Ellie as a character na. But the way Ellie plays, जो stealth, the way she can be more brutal and all of that na, like it's much more different. It adds to the game a lot. The brutality, the violence, the way they represent the violence, the way Ellie moves, the more nimble
Reacts
way.
to it.
nimble way, her reaction to it, all of it ना, and वो टूम रेडर जैसी भी नहीं कर रही कि ना एक आदमी को मारा, रो रही है कि अरे मैंने क्या क्या कर दिया, how will I live with myself, then kills 100 other people. Ellie is on a revenge path, and with time clarity आता है, with mistakes clarity आता है, and like if some people are not able to see that, and that is totally fine है ना, there are other games for you, but if you enjoy that nuance,
जैसे फाइट क्लब मुझको देखने के बाद समझ में आई, लाइक दो साल बाद.
yeah,
like I understand कि मुझे फाइट क्लब फर्स्ट ईयर में देखी थी, फिर थर्ड ईयर में समझ में आई कि क्या था वो पिक्चर में. ऐसा होता है.
yeah,
Sometimes it happens.
Just a overall general thing that I want to say to like all the people who are even listening to this,
कौन
don't
सुन रहा है?
let
Comment करो.
don't let people who exploit like make you rage and exploit you for views and clicks determine what your voice is or what your identity is. See it for yourself, decide for yourself. Don't let it get colored by only their opinion. Like I've heard several people who just like, don't even watch a movie, don't even watch a series, and then suddenly decide that is bad, this is this, that is that. अभी तक वो मरमेड वाला मूवी निकला नहीं, पर
अरे मुझको
आदमी
देखो
लोग
ना
बोल रहे
यार,
हैं,
I shit on Big Boss every day,
right?
1 से 3, but I watch it every day.
एक
मतलब second hand.
So I think that's what I feel like कि वो जो लोग exploit कर रहे हैं तुमको तुम्हारे rage के लिए and stuff like that, and making you keep watching that view for views and clicks and stuff like that. Don't get so attached to that. Form your own opinions, watch your own thing. मतलब अगर मेरे को He-Man अच्छा नहीं लगा, मेरे को He-Man देखा मैंने, फिर मैंने decide कि He-Man अच्छा नहीं है.
Let's not go there.
But yeah,
I have not watched that second part, पता है, मैं series देखी नहीं.
I did, and then I decided कि no, it's not a good
to
idea.
echo Sushir's sentiment, I would say कि Ishaan, if you are a fan of both Last of Us games, I would say कि एक बार ना ये सब whatever you feel about the game, उसको थोड़ा अलग रख, ठीक है? Try to keep it separate, and then replay one. Look at the way one का story is told. Look at the way characters are उसमें. Look at the way Joel and Ellie are. How the world is, because the world is important in Last of Us. The way everyone else also reacts. फिर उसके बाद play 2 again. Just take what you've played in 1, वो experience लेके move to 2, play that, and then उसके बाद see what your opinion is. Forget बाहर का leaks, ये उसने क्या बोला, उसने क्या बोला, इसने क्या बोला, पूरा भूल जा and try to sort of experience it fresh way में. Because जब when you're open to find new things in something, वो perspective थोड़ा अलग होगा.
And that's why, Darren, I want to like keep people here for a challenge. Like I feel this also comes with a difference of age.
Yeah.
And just like Ayush said, I want people to write in the comments, anything that you watched before and you might have watched now after a considerable amount of years, and opinion about that has changed. Like for me, it was like Matrix. Like at the time when I watched it as a spectacle. I was like a school kid, and I watched it as a spectacle. I did not understand much of it, but I was wowed by it. And then a few years later, when I watched it again, I understood like the deeper implications, like whatever they wanted to say.
Yeah.
Same with Fountainhead. At one point of time, I was like, "Oh, this is such a great writer, and this is such a great kind of a story and stuff like that." And later, I was like, "That's a very shitty thing, a very shitty worldview to form about something, and the world does not work that way, and that's not how people work." So, like, write down in the comments below if you like, if
Yeah.
you watched something and or seen something, played something, but later on returning back to it, your opinion of it has changed.
Yeah, I think that
वैसे
shows experience and growth as a person.
and वैसे like Sushir, you brought up like coincidentally like a great example. ये Ayn Rand के books ना, like I read them when I was like maybe 10 years ago. I read them and I enjoyed them क्योंकि like there was like a more क्या बोलते हैं self-involved view था उसमें, and I still think Ayn Rand is a great writer. Bioshock के writers took inspiration and like it's a great writer. But Suniti read them last year and वो books पढ़ रही थी and she's like, dude, these books are very fucked up. And वो मुझे like पॉइंट्स वगैरह उठा के ना पैराग्राफ्स वगैरह उठा के बताया like holy shit dude, yeah, this like very fucked up paragraphs स्टोरी सेक्शन जो मतलब मुझे उस टाइम पे समझ नहीं आता. I still think Ayn Rand is a great writer, but what she's written about may not be always like great. तो वो ना also like maybe we can wrap up the episode. अभी 40-50 मिनट almost होने वाले हैं.
People have tuned out कि ये क्या बोल रहे हैं, कौन
क्या
and
हाँ
क्या
Ayn Rand,
fountain
yeah,
किसका है.
Fountainhead, Atlas Shrugged and all those.
Yeah.
But I want to bring up like a topic जो हम आगे भी मतलब बात कर सकते हैं. जैसे I saw all these discussions about like modern gaming is dead and all that. उससे I wanted to bring up उससे I wanted to bring up an example of like a reviewer जो मैं भी पिछले एक साल से काफी consistently देख रहा हूँ. And I think it's a good reviewer overall. But it's reviewer अच्छा है, but तुम्हारा भी अपने में भी दिमाग होना चाहिए ना. जैसे रिव्यूअर मूवीज का रिव्यू करता है कॉल्ड क्रिटिकल ड्रिंकर, एंड ही डज लाइक उसके जो भी पॉइंट्स है दे लाइक फेयरली वैलिड पॉइंट्स. बट once you watch enough of those critical drinker के reviews ना, you see कि he'll shit on things and then he'll praise generic things, generically good things. जैसे for example ये जो टॉम क्रूज की मूवी क्या आई थी रिसेंटली, टॉप गन मैवरिक, ग्रेट मूवी, नॉट स्पेशल मूवी, ग्रेट मूवी, सबको मजा आएगा देखने में. इट्स नॉट अ स्पेशल मूवी, नहीं, इट्स नॉट अ मूवी दैट आई एवर वॉच्ड ट्वाइस. तो बट he'll shit about movies and he'll pick out topics कि ना इसमें राइटिंग में ये प्रॉब्लम है. मैंने उसके पूरे हिस्ट्री में चेक किया, he never once has talked about a movie called The Good Time, which is an incredible movie. वो मूवी देख के मतलब हार्ट पंपिंग, मतलब ना एंड तक you'll be it really moves you. उसने उस मूवी की बात नहीं करी मैल्कम एंड मरी, जिसमें टेनेट वाला एक्टर है एंड जेंडाया है जो स्पाइडरमैन में. मैल्कम एंड मरी की बात नहीं करी, गुड टाइम की बात नहीं करी. तो व्हेन यू थिंक ना गेम्स आर डेड एंड व्हेन यू सी दीस वीडियोस, एक बार ही देखना कि हैव दे टॉक्ड अबाउट ग्रेट गेम्स. सेम विद क्रिटिकल ड्रिंकर, आल्सो चेक कि हैव दे टॉक्ड अबाउट ग्रेट मूवीज. अदरवाइज इफ दे सेइंग कि ना ऑल मूवीज इज बीइंग रूइंड बाय वोक राइटिंग, दे आर ओनली वाचिंग टेरिबल मूवीज. दे आर वाचिंग मूवीज दैट आई विल नेवर वॉच. तो मतलब कि मतलब दे आर ट्राइंग टू वेस्ट योर टाइम. वो पहले क्या कर रहे हैं, तुमसे चूतिया मूवी दिखवा रहे हैं, फिर उनका चूतिया वीडियो भी देखने को कह रहे हैं. आर दे रिकमेंडिंग यू अ गुड मूवी? नो ना. मतलब दैट आई फील कि दिस इज अ प्रॉब्लम अभी के टाइम में ना, कि लाइक जैसे आई विल ट्राई माय बेस्ट. जैसे मैं अपने गेम ऑफ द ईयर, जब मैं एंड ऑफ द ईयर वीडियोस बनाता हूँ, व्हाई डू आई रिकमेंड दीस फ्री मॉड्स या वो, क्योंकि मैं चाहता हूँ यार, आई डोंट वांट टू बी अ क्रिटिकल ड्रिंकर वाला स्टीरियोटाइप. और जिम स्टर्लिंग फॉर एग्जांपल ना, सिर्फ वो नेगेटिव वीडियोस करते गया एंड देन उसको दिख रहा है कि he only gets views on negative sentiment वाले videos, doesn't get views on positive videos.
हम लोगों को भी मिलता है.
हाँ,
इसका टाइटल नेगेटिव ही होगा वीडियो का.
Yeah, and I think that kind of sucks कि like ये तो ठीक है, तुम अपने ऑडियंस को you are educating them about what's wrong, but are you pointing them towards what's good? वो नहीं हो रहा है ना. I think that is a big problem.
Right.
And I hope कि a lot of people like try to see it that way, and मुझे लगता है कभी-कभी तो that comes with age.
Yeah.
But I have
इसका एक रिवर्स काउंटर पॉइंट है मानस के खिलाफ से. So I think like Manas is saying the right thing, but like what I would say is कि जैसे instead of watching people who find mistakes in movies, you should watch people who explain a good part of a movie. जैसे मतलब वो तो उससे ना आपकी अंडरस्टैंडिंग बढ़ेगी कि इन द सेंस कि लाइक व्हाट आई शुड लुक फॉर इन अ मूवी, या फिर मैं कैसे समझा पाऊंगा कि दिस इज ग्रेटनेस ऐसा. तो जैसे डार्क नाइट के कुछ सीन्स हैं जिनके ऊपर देयर इज लॉट्स ऑफ डिस्कशन. ठीक है, अभी द बैटमैन आई थी, देयर आर डिस्कशंस एज टू व्हाई दिस सीन इज सो इंपॉर्टेंट, व्हाई दिस सीन इज सो वेल मेड. ठीक है, देयर आर पार्ट्स अबाउट मतलब अगेन दिस इज अ नोलन थिंग, मुझे लग रहा है इंसेप्शन के सीन्स हैं जो कि मतलब व्हिच आई फाइंड, बट दीस आर मूवीज दैट आई लाइक्ड एंड देन आई वेंट ऑन वेंट ऑनलाइन एंड देन लाइक saw about them ki what how well those scenes are made and why those scenes are so special. So
Right.
I think उससे क्या होता है, you get a positive sense of, instead of like marking down a movie कि इसमें ये नहीं था, ये नहीं था, ये नहीं था,
Yeah.
you get to understand कि इसमें ये अच्छा किया, ये अच्छा किया, ये अच्छा किया, that is why it's such a great movie. ऐसा इस तरह के सीन जैसे फॉरेस्ट गंप के सीन्स होते हैं एंड लाइक मेवरिक के जो पुराने वाले व्हाई डज टॉप गन मेवरिक फील सो
Yeah.
स्पेशल, इस तरह की
Right.
चीजें के लिए वो द ट्रेन सॉरी द स्नो पियर्सर राइट, देयर इज अ वीडियो वेयर इट शोज यू कि वो पूरी जो सिनेमेटोग्राफी है, जस्ट गोइंग टू स्पॉइल इट लिटिल, कि Chris Evans is always made asked to make a decision whether he wants to move backward or forward in that movie. Okay, and he always chooses forward. ऐसा in that picture, like however like कुछ भी उसका, and he's losing something because he's deciding to move forward. तो इस तरह की चीज आप समझोगे ना, then you understand कि इस पिक्चर को ऐसे देखना चाहिए था, instead of
I
like just
think
seeing like a action
There's
movie
a
या फिर
fantastic
graphical
YouTube channel
picture.
called Every Frame of Painting. I think many of
Rest in
people
peace.
might
Yeah.
want to watch
Isha.
it. Yeah, really good, really good, really good
IFAB.
video essays. Really good, I lost my train of
But
thought.
yeah,
Video
नहीं, वैसे,
essays out there regarding that.
to आयुष's point ना कि मतलब कि जैसे मतलब हाँ नेगेटिव बता दिया, पॉजिटिव नहीं, आई ऑल्सो वांट टू से, अगर मैं क्रिटिकल ड्रिंक करके थोड़ी क्रिटिसिज्म कर रहा हूँ, आई ऑल्सो वांट टू से चेक आउट थॉमस फ्लाइट, उसके वीडियोस, he makes great videos on like the smaller stuff that's great about these, like about good movies है ना, थॉमस फ्लाइट चेकआउट करो,
yeah.
he does much better videos and hopefully तुम उसके videos देखोगे तो you'll end up watching good movies and not watch these terrible movies and then watch reviews telling you these movies are terrible.
तो पता ही है.
I'm like in my early 30s right now, and I feel, in my personal opinion, there has never been a better year, or like going forward, it is always feeling like the next year is going to be so much better. There's never been a better year for content, like no
Yeah.
matter like TV, cinema, games, books, any
And
kind
it will
of
get worse from here. Like जैसे जैसे और चलते जा रही है, Paramount Plus, like Nick, in this point of time, you are able to get a lot of content in a very unified place. Like
Right.
अगर आपके पास अभी नेट, मतलब इससे साल में पहले actually it was better, Netflix में सब कुछ था.
Mhm.
But now there is Disney Plus, there is Netflix, there is Amazon
Yeah.
Prime, there is Hotstar, right? And this diversification will continue. I think distribution will continue.
Cable channel
as
की
time
तरह
goes
पूरा हो
on.
जाएगा. Something
हाँ,
that
it will become
We'll
the
go
same
back
old
to
thing.
to
हाँ.
our old ways of the seas.
हाँ, फिर एक VPN कोई Web 3 पे चलेगा फिर ये सब कुछ.
like
Web 3 पे.
seriously like
या फिर Twitter, maybe everybody is posting movies there वहाँ पर इस समय.
video games are dead is like is the
Over-
shittiest thing to
yeah.
say, and like one of those very few people like who have not played video games say, like
I think
people who
to-
haven't played video games say that kind of stuff.
To echo what we've all been saying, like when you like something, right, अगर तुम्हें कोई game पसंद आया and you go and learn more about it, you realize कि what goes into making a good product,
Exactly.
है ना, good game, good movie, good song, good album, whatever. तुम्हें पता है कि अच्छा ये अच्छा क्यों है, which means कि अगली बार you can decide knowing that knowledge कि when something is not good, तुम्हें पता है कि दिस इज नॉट गुड बिकॉज ये इसमें नहीं है एंड इसलिए मेरे को पसंद नहीं आया ये. यू डोंट हैव टू सिट एंड वेट कि अच्छा ये बंदा बताएगा कि मेरे को कि क्यों अच्छा नहीं है ये. द मोर यू एंगेज विद कंटेंट एंड वॉच कंटेंट एंड मीडिया कंजम्पशन जो तुम्हें पसंद है ना, द मोर यू विल फाइंड कि यू आर इन अ गोल्डन एज. द मोर यू फाइंड प्लेसेस जहाँ पे टू निटपिक एंड टू जस्ट फाइंड प्रॉब्लम्स एंड ये वो ना, द मोर यू विल रियलाइज कि देयर इज ऑलवेज समथिंग टू निटपिक, there is always something to find a flaw in. और फिर ना तुम्हारा joy for that thing, जैसे
It's going to go away.
games का है, movies का है, गानों का है, वो चला जाएगा and you will just end up being this shell of anger जहाँ तुम बस ढूंढ रहे हो an excuse कि how do I get angry at this thing, और कौन मेरे साथ गुस्सा हो रहा है, I need to agree with them and I need to tell other people who are enjoying it. जैसे कोई मेरे को आके बोलेगा कि तेरे को रैग्नारॉक पसंद आया, क्यों पसंद आया, बेकार गेम है, तेरे को ये गेम कैसे पसंद आ गया, बेकार है. अरे भाई मेरे को पसंद आया because of these positives that I've listed. It takes it to like something. I just saw this recently. To like something, it takes you to like everything about it, even its flaws. But to dislike something, it takes only one single thing, right? About a game. If you want to dislike a game, we can just say one single thing कि ये पसंद नहीं है, मैंने नहीं खेला. But if you like a game, you will talk about what you like and what you don't dislike, and still the fact कि you enjoyed it. So just look at that उस perspective से, थोड़ा try to consume things you like. If you don't like something, क्यों time money spend मत करो यार. Life is not as long as you think, not as short as you think. Just do what you enjoying, and you will have a blast seeing all the people around you who are also enjoying similar things.
Well, that was like a very
On that note,
the dumbest podcast ever.
The derailed
हाँ, अब
podcast.
ये हम लोगों ने कमेंट वाले पॉडकास्ट में 2 कमेंट लिए हम लोगों ने.
but I just want to say ऐसा ना लगे कि like I think Ishaan made some good points and I love
Yeah.
Ishaan के comments. तो ईशान को ऐसा ना लगे कि ना and I like कि ना
I hate you, Ishaan. I hate you.
and I like कि जो बंदा मतलब इतने strongly disagree करे he still here with us
I
discussing
think
ना
that's an
because
opinion, right?
yeah,
मतलब
yeah,
ऐसा
yeah.
मुझे सबसे बात
Definitely.
it's an opinion and
हाँ वो जरूरी है कि ना like ईशान अगर
what you say.
because sometimes I could be wrong and ईशान जैसा कोई आके probably बताएगा कि ना like we're wrong and वो अपना जैसे Sarubos had a great comment about like listing out Microsoft के वो acquisitions का वो like benefits right तो
Yeah, like just like you're wrong about Tsushima being a 6-rated game.
I agree.
गलतियां सबसे होती है.
सुशील ने खेला है? I want to know Sushil's opinion. Will you give it a 6? 6 is I
Sushil of
think Halo
Tsushima.
Infinite.
No,
Halo Infinite is 6.
I haven't completed. Like I've
नहीं
gone
but
through like a few
I'm
hours.
thinking
but I
from
haven't
zero
completed.
मैं 5 से मेरा IGN वाला स्केल नहीं है कि 5 से शुरू हो रहा है तो 6 is bad तो 0 से 6 तक पहुंचना is the great effort मैं खुद 4 या 5 हूँ I'm a 4 out of 5%, 4 out of 10%. तो क्या बोलूं मैं?
We should name all our numbers according to like video game developers or publishers. Like a 10 is Naughty Dog, like a 9 is Santa Monica. Okay. And like a 4 can be Ubisoft.
Yeah. अरे यार 6 is Ubisoft. I think 6 is Ubisoft. 6 is 7.
Ubisoft is a good 7 average, like थोड़ा above average.
6 भी चलेगा.
I know.
Like
Six,
and one
Ubisoft is aiming for a 6.
Yeah. And like a company can take 2 positions together. Like a 7 can be like Final Fantasy, Square Enix, and a 3 can be Marvel's Avengers.
Square Enix is like a little 5 for me. 5 to 7. थोड़ा.
Yeah, this is a good idea. We should do in a video.
हाँ ये करना चाहिए. We should do this on a मतलब ऐसा live stream.
पूरा लोगों का लेके ना पोल बना के लेट मेक अ शीट वगैरह के ना कि
how was Ghost of Tsushima like between Far Cry 5 and 6?
That's a good way for us to put it. Everyone's scale.
I'll be confused.
And
क्या
also
बोल रहा है? अच्छा बोल रहा है गलत बोल रहा है?
And I think इसी direction में like हमारा जब Game of the Year होगा ना, I think from now on every year we should have a category saying कि this year is like the best year in gaming. and present games जो लोगों ने खेले नहीं है. When they're making videos में कि gaming is dead and all that. Present games जो उन्होंने खेले नहीं है. Like you haven't played these games. That's why you think this is a bad year in gaming. But anyways, we can wrap the video up.
कोई ना कोई बोलेगा फ्रेश वुमन ने खेला इसलिए बोल रहा है गेमिंग.
मैंने खेला है तो no worries.
मैंने भी थोड़ा बहुत खेला है.
I'm trying to get Manas's account to play Super Seducer 3.
Oh shit, आप वो गेम तो बैन ही हो गया था ना वो मैंने so lucky.
Yeah, but that's it from our end, and there's a lot of comments, but yeah, a lot of discussion. And Ayush, we can wrap things up.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I mean, so I just wanted to say, like, if you just like we talked about games that we liked and the games that we hated. If you like this podcast, just please give us a like, share, and subscribe. If you want to get in touch with us, you can reach out to us on editor@gameoffiend.com or reach out to us on Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. Search for Game of Fiend, or you can join our Discord channel, which has been growing since of late. Also, let us know in the comments if you wanted to improve Call of Duty. What changes you would make in that game, and what changes you could have made in the Last of Us 2 ending to make it better,
Yeah.
So
and also the part that what has like your opinion of what game or media has changed through the
over
years.
time.
Yeah. I think that's a good question. Like something that you'd watched in your teens or early childhood, and your opinion has changed for the better or for worse.
Also, let us
depending
know
upon the
what we
situation.
can change about this podcast to make it better. वो भी डाल दो नीचे की है ना, सब कुछ ही डाल दो. What can we make better?
तो बोलेंगे
तुम ही
बंद
आइडियाज दे दो.
बंद कर दो.
तुम ही
बहुत
से
हो
हम आइडिया फार्म कर लेते हैं.
सही बस बाय अगली डिस्कशन के लिए कमेंट चाहिए कि नहीं चाहिए. ठीक है. Anyways, so this brings us to the end of the show. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week. This is Ayush Singh. Bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.